Hello, peace and blessings. This is Jovhannah, the Spiritual Love Healer, founder of the Spiritual Love Sanctuary, coming to you with this week's Spiritual Love forecast. So I'm going to be using my Alchemist Oracle, and I think I'm going to use my Lumina Tarot deck because it is right here. I'm thinking that I'm probably going to change my healing space around again just because it just doesn't feel settled. Yes, I think I'm gonna, I hope I don't have to do it tonight, but it's been coming up like it doesn't feel right. So I know like I need to come in and rearrange some things. So let's get into the energy of this week. And I really feel like these need to be focused more towards our inner worlds, like our emotions, and really trying to manifest and magnetize and attract, like really pulling in what it is that we desire in not only love, but just life in general. Often what I'm finding is that it's all the same. It's all connected. It all goes back into us, how we feel, what it is that we are thinking. Yes. Decisions came up, and let's see what else comes out. I love how these two hands are kind of together forming this triangle, and to me it's like a point of focus, an area of focus. And then within that triangle, there's almost like this universe, right? Like looking up at the stars when we see those beautiful nebulas and all of those magical things, celestial bodies, all of it is matter. It's pure matter. It's pure energy. It's pure potential. And when we focus on, when we focus our energies, when we focus our mind, our thoughts, our intentions on something, we can create the most beautiful things. Whether it is a relationship, whether it's more money, whether it is, more time with your children, whatever the case may be, when you focus, that helps you to really have some clarity, and it creates a container of where you need to be channeling all of your energies. Because all of this stuff like around here, all of that, none of that matters when you've already made a decision that this is the area that you're going to focus on. This is what you're going to develop, and that is what you're going to create out of. So then we have the Knight of Swords here. And the Knight of Swords is all about action, right? So now you've made a decision, and now it's time to take action. It's time to act on that decision. And I think it's very important to, what happens a lot of times is we think we want something, or we know that we want something, but we don't act on it. We just keep talking about it. And then a few years go by and it's like, dang, I should have did X, Y, and Z. But, whatever. And then there's all the excuses, all the reasons why we can't do it. Oh, well, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough experience. Nobody's going to support me. Nobody's going to love me. There's all of these reasons that we come up with not to do the thing that we say that we want. And like for me, one of the things I've always talked about creating a YouTube channel, like long time ago, like in 2006 or 5 or somewhere around there, right? Before like YouTube was like a thing. I was always like, I wanted to start a YouTube channel. And then finally I just did it. I thought I needed, other people to, have people to talk to, because my idea was to do kind of like a web show, right? And now those are totally a thing. So it's still something that, I'm considering, just in a different avenue. But imagine if I had never gotten started. I would have never done anything with all of that energy, with all of that potential. I just would have sat there and, later on down the line, been wishing and hoping and the shoulda, coulda, wouldas that I would have done it. But I took action, right? And so I pulled the Wheel of Fortune as well. And this card is all about taking that energy, right? Because what I get from this is a lot of times, there's a lot of feeling in this card for me. It's all about like, what do you feel? Notice she's not looking at anything, and it's almost like she's dancing, and you can see the different phases of the moon, the different cycles. And it's like, as you're going through life, it's important to know like how you feel, because that's kind of going to be how you respond. The energy that you're putting out into the world is going to help magnetize different people, experiences, and situations to you. So if you're finding that what you are receiving in life, what's manifesting, what experiences you're going through, if it's not in alignment with what you decided that you wanted for yourself, chances are you didn't make a decision. And chances are you need to change something. The energy that you're putting out is not in alignment with what it is that you want or what it is that you say that you want. And then just going back to like the Knight of Swords, it's like to do a handstand with a sword between your feet. Swords are very heavy, right? There's so much balance that's happening here. Precision balance. And then the hawk, right? We know hawk is all about having a higher perspective, being able to see things that, you know, the average person, the average eye cannot see. So there's a lot of focused energy here where the knight is like, I'm going to do this. He said, I'm going to do this. And when you think about like just the act of getting into this pose, there's a lot involved. But he had that focused energy that was like, okay, I'm going to do this handstand back bend situation with the sword between my feet and a hawk just chilling on my knees. There's a lot of focus and effort that had to go into him getting into this pose. So it's not just enough to have the idea or the want, the desire, but you have to take action. You have to act on that desire. If you never make a decision, then you're not really in control and you're not really living. You're just going through life, so to speak. So if you never decide that, I don't know, like if you never make a decision, are you really living? And whose life are you living if you're not deciding where you live, where you want to eat, what do you want to wear today, who do you want to be, what kind of job do you want to have, what kind of car do you want to drive, what kind of parent do you want to be? If you're not making those decisions, then chances are you're running on autopilot. And if you're running on autopilot, then you might be experiencing a life that you don't even want to live. You may be very disconnected from yourself. And then when I'm looking at her, like it's just being blind to life. And it's just like, okay, whatever, going through the motions, gotta, you know, do these things because that's what I was told life was. So I'm just gonna go through the motions. When in reality, it could be this very beautiful dance that you're choreographing yourself and you're dancing to your own tune because you are deciding what life looks like for you. You're deciding what abundance looks like to you. You're deciding what love looks like to you. Most of the time when I talk to women, they have decided to give up, right? They decided, and I don't even know if this was like an active decision most of the time, because I don't think people realize that they're giving up because they think, well, I'm just deciding not to date anymore because I had this one bad experience and it was really crappy. And now I have made up this long list of excuses on why I don't want to date, why I can't find love, why nobody's going to love me. And so, yeah, I'm just going to be single for the rest of my life. Is that really the decision that you want to make? Or do you feel that is your only option? Or are you making this decision out of a place of wounding? Because remember, this too is emotion. There's a lot of emotion involved. And depending on where that emotion is coming from, if it's coming from a place of past hurt, then you're still not living because you're living out of a past situation instead of out of the present, creating the reality and the experiences that you want to see in your life. So for this week, I think it's going to be very important for you to be aware of the decisions that you're making or not making, because not making a choice is also a decision. deciding to just be like, I'm not going to choose, I'm not going to say yay or nay, I'm not going to make a choice, that's also a decision. And so when you start to be aware of, even the minute things that we choose, like, okay, I'm going to have a healthy breakfast, or I'm just going to eat a bag of potato chips. Those little minute decisions can add up to big changes in your life, whether they are positive or, negative experiences, or whether it gets you the results that you want or the results that you don't want. So be mindful of the decisions that you're making, because like I said, even those little small decisions can have a big impact on your life if you've decided there's something that you want. So if you want to be in better shape, then you should decide that you're not going to eat, a bag of potato chips or whatever, instead of maybe having a piece of fruit or some yogurt or whatever. So make sure that you are being an active participant in your life. Make sure that you are working with all of these beautiful energies around us to co-create what it is that you want. That you are dancing to the beat of your own drum, and that you're being mindful of the power that you have to choose and to create the abundant life that you desire. And here at the Spiritual Love Sanctuary, I'm always talking about living abundantly ever after, because that is what I want for myself, and that is what I want for other single mothers and just everybody. But I really want to focus on helping single mothers live abundantly ever after, because there is this misconception and this energy of lack, of struggle, of loneliness, and just all of these things that kind of, when you think of a single mom, just come to mind. And it doesn't have to be that way. You can live abundantly ever after, meaning you can have success, you can have wealth, you can have financial stability, you can have love, you can have joy, peace, happiness, bliss, all of that. Whatever abundantly ever after means to you, after whatever trauma, negative experience, you can live a beautiful life full of bliss and full of thriving, but you have to make the decision that that is what you want to do. So that is the spiritual love forecast for this week. Sending you lots of love, and I will see you next time. Peace.